welcome or welcome back to 4F Beauty. When will I be YouTube famous? I don't know. What I do know is that this is a foundation review, and yes, I went a bit ham with the bronzer. Let's not talk about that right now. What we're talking about are these. Now, these are the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation and the new Infallible More Than Concealer, which is their version of Shape Tape or Revolution's Conceal and Define. Now, I've used the Infallible Matte and the Infallible 24-Hour and the Infallible Total Cover, and I believe the Infallible Glow one as well that I got from America. So this is the new Infallible, which is the Fresh Wear. So I'm going to be very interested to see how this wears on my oily combo skin. If you are also as interested, then you have come to exactly the right place. Because here it comes. Hey, welcome back for the intro. Right, I will have shown you these in the intro. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear in shade 15 Porcelain. Okay, and you can see I have not opened this because the sticker is still intact. And the same with this. This is the L'Oreal Infallible More Than Concealer in shade 320 Porcelain. So, should we see how these work on my skin? Why not? Right, my face has been washed, moisturised, SPF'd and primed. I am using a new moisturiser because the one that I had been using for the summer wasn't really rich enough when we hit this cold weather. So I've been using this L'Oreal Age Perfect Cell Renewal Rosy Toned Cream. Really like this. And in terms of primer, I've literally just got my usual antiperspirant primer. Link for more details about that, the little mini film that I did, is in my description box. So I'm giving this a good shake. I have used the old Infallibles and the Infallible 24-Hour. They were okay, but they did go a bit cakey on my skin. So, let's get that sticker off. As you can see, completely virgin pump, has not been used. And I have got my Pokemon phone case with Bulbasaur, who's my favourite, just in case you're wondering. Right, best pumps are the ones that work. Oh, okay, fantastic. That worked very quickly. And this is a very liquidy consistency. So, I am going to do one side of my face with this BH Cosmetics number 4 slanted kabuki brush, and the other side I'm going in with a fuzzy sponge. So, let's start off by zooming you in. It'd be a good start, wouldn't it? Yeah, well done, Bomber. You can actually see what's going on now. So I'm just going to dot this on my face. I may have gone a little light, but I'd rather do that and bronze it up than go too dark. So, let's see how this fares on my skin, which is at the moment 44 years old. It'll soon be 45. Well, technically it's 7 years old because your skin renews itself every 7 years, but you know what I mean. And it's oily combo with fine lines and hyperpigmentation etc. etc. This definitely has a scent to it. Yeah, it's definitely the foundation, it's not the soap that I used to clean my brush with. It's quite a perfumey scent actually. To be honest, it reminds me of the air freshener in the bathroom, which I think is fresh linen at the moment. I'm just going to see if I can build this coverage up just here a little bit more. Just where I need the help a little bit more, you know, dark circles and redness and hyperpigmentation and stuff. I mean, that's actually gone on really quite nicely. That's, I don't know, I suppose I'd call that a medium. I mean, you can definitely see the difference between the two sides in terms of, you know, covering the redness. Okay, let's try the sponge on this side. Now, normally with a sponge, you expect to get slightly lower coverage because it does soak a lot of the product up, but I have noticed with these fuzzy sponges, they don't actually tend to soak up as much. So you do tend to keep more coverage with these than you do a traditional sponge. So, you know, if you don't want to sheer your foundation out, I definitely recommend a fuzzy sponge. If you are looking to sheer out a foundation a bit, then I would use an ordinary sponge. My favourite sponges are actually the Beauty Bakery ones, the blending eggs. I have one of those that came free with my Beauty Bakery foundation that I bought. And then, look, this is how they blending eggs. I love it. And it is genuinely an egg box or an egg carton, which has got your blending eggs, medium, firm and soft, which that just really tickles my fancy, put it that way. And on the side of it, it says, great when used wet, complexion smoothing, get those hard to reach areas, durable, reusable and eco-friendly. And that was, I think that was like 18 quid for 6, so it's really not expensive either. But this is, I actually got this off of, I think it came free with some lashes that I bought. Okay, let's see if we can build up this side like we did the other side, and we can compare and decide which finish I prefer. You definitely get more coverage with a brush, and I think you get a more luminous kind of coverage with the brush. Let's just see whether that is the case or if it's just that I've got more light on this side of me. This smell is quite distracting. If you've got very sensitive skin, you might find it affects it. So I'd definitely test some on the back of your hand and then maybe on your jawline and then wander around for like an hour or so and just see whether it's, yeah, so you definitely look like you get more of a glow using a brush I'm just going to get my little close-up mirror and have a very close look. A little fluff in my hair from my towel this morning, that's helpful. I like this, but it is very much sitting on the skin, not sort of like. Let's see if I go over it with a sponge, will that actually help? Yeah, it definitely goes less cakey when you do go over it with a sponge, but obviously you do lose some of the luminosity. But then I'm gonna be powdering this anyway. My nose does not appear to be liking it already, which is a little bit of a worry because that is the part of my face that repels makeup the quickest. If I can. But you can see I only used like maybe 2 of the 3 pumps that I sort of pumped out. If I zoom in, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of a little patchy on the nose here, and a little sort of cakey look. If you've got dry to normal skin, this is actually feeling like you could probably get away without actually setting it, because now I've gone over it with that sponge, it does feel like it's starting to set a bit. Obviously I've got oily combo skin, if I don't set mine it's going to be off my face within no time at all, so there's that. I'm just going to clean my Pokemon off, pop that back over there. And I don't normally try a new foundation and a concealer at the same time because then it's difficult to tell which one's playing up which, but as they're both L'Oreal Infallible, I thought I'd give it a go. Let's zoom in a little bit more just so you can see how it blends out. Oh, not under the eyes. Oh, nice, solid. Big fat doe foot, like the Tarte one, like Revolution Concealing Fine. Oh, this one stinks. Yeah, that's quite highly perfumed as well. The scent of the foundation I didn't mind. This is a little more. It almost smells like paint. You know, like emulsion that you put up on the wall. Very similar to Wet n Wild's foundation. Right, so let's get the sponge and just. Sorry, it'd be helpful if you could actually see what I was doing, wouldn't it? Oh. Well, it's certainly very brightening, put it that way. This is the lightest shade they do. This is the porcelain. And I'm literally just sort of pinching the sponge. That's doing a really nice job actually of covering my dark circles, which are particularly heinous because I haven't been sleeping very well lately. Funnily enough, the day I'm filming this is actually the 1 year anniversary of me putting up my first ever film on YouTube. So that's a little bit exciting to know that I've done this for a year and don't appear to have annoyed too many people. I've had a couple of dodgy comments, but yeah, you always get one or two, don't you? That's actually blended out really nicely. Really nicely. I like that a lot. Right. I am going to powder this using my Coty spun like I always do, do the rest of my face, and I will come back. Wow, that really is brightening under my eyes. Oh, mama, I'm going to need some bronzer today. Ooh. Yeah, and I will be back with a check-in. I'm going to do 2 check-ins during the day like I always do. One around the sort of 4, 5, 6 hour mark, and one around the 8, 9, 10 hour mark. It's currently midday, so that's the check-in time. So I am going to get on with finishing this face off. I will see you once my whole face is done, and then I can give you an indication of how it's looking after probably half hour, 3/4 of an hour. It depends whether I get a phone call or not. Right, see you now. Hey, I'm back. It's 12:40, so it took me about 40 minutes to do the rest of my face. So far so good. Powder products blended absolutely fine over the top of it. It's not settling or caking anywhere yet, but then I wouldn't expect it to after 40 minutes. Now, with foundation reviews, if you've never been to my channel before, you've never seen one of these, I don't do anything except touch up my lippy during the day. I don't blot, I don't add more powder, I don't do more setting spray, I don't do a moisturising spray or anything like that, which obviously you would do on a normal day. If you see yourself getting oily, you're gonna use your blotting paper, you're gonna stick a bit more powder on, then you're gonna use a moisturising spray to blend all the powders together again. I don't do any of that on a foundation review because I want to see exactly how it reacts. I mean, say for example, you're at a conference and you just don't have your makeup with you and you cannot get to do anything with it. I want to see exactly how the skin would look by the end of the day, and the makeup would look by the end of the day. So, this is it right now. Yes, I went a bit ham with the bronzer and the blush. Do I care? No. I'm just going to be editing and shouting at the rugby, so, you know. So, I will see you, well, I'll see you in about 4 or 5 hours. You're going to see me right now. Hey, right, it's 4:30. The Wales England match kicks off in 15 minutes, so I need to pour myself a cold one and be sat in front of the telly, ready to shout my support for my team. So, let's have a zoom in and see how these are faring so far. My fringe is still doing wafty things. I've tied half my hair up and it's a thing. Well, it doesn't seem to be settling or cracking in the fine lines there, or there, or even in the hulk. That's quite good. Under eyes still look really hydrated actually. No creasing or cracking or anything. Still got really, really good coverage on my nose. Lost a little bit here because I've been doing this, so just ignore that part of my nose there. Top lip still looks good. Chin still looks good. Oh. Is that some slight cracking there? Yeah, it's just starting to crack around here. But it's not settling into any fine lines anywhere, which is really good. Okay, so far I'm really impressed with this. Really impressed. Especially that concealer, that hasn't creased, it hasn't cracked, it hasn't dried my under eyes out. This could be a Tarte Shape Tape dupe, because that is the only thing with the Revolution concealer. It does dry my under eyes out just fractionally more. Now, although I'm not promoting Tarte at the moment after the whole Shape Tape debacle, even though they, on their new face tape, appear to be addressing the situation, I have still got an almost new Shape Tape that I bought before the, proverbial hit the fan. So I might at some point do a dupe off between these two to see whether this really is the Shape Tape drugstore alternative. But for the time being, I am super, super impressed. It's not settled in any fine lines. It feels really lightweight. I keep forgetting I've got foundation on, to be quite honest. That's why I keep doing that. And I'm like, oh god, foundation. I'm actually very impressed. The only place that it's really showing wear is the end of my nose, where I've been doing that because my nose is still a little bit irritated after the 2 colds I had this year already. And just starting to crack and settle a little bit here. But to be quite honest, if I got my beauty blender out, I could probably just smudge that out and it'd look absolutely fine. But it's a foundation review, so I'm not going to do that. If this were a normal day, I'd be doing that right now. I'd be like, perfect. I have positive vibes with this. Have I finally found a L'Oreal Infallible, which is matte enough to last on my skin, but not so matte it makes me look as dry as an Egyptian mummy. Although I am wearing sarcophagus highlights, so that would be appropriate. Right, I've now got a rugby match to go and shout at, rugby football. When I come back later, there's a possibility I could be ever so slightly pickled. There's also a possibility that I won't have very much voice at all. However, I will see you in probably about 6 hours-ish. You don't have to wait that long. However, if you want to pause the film and take your guess whether I'm going to be slightly sozzled, perfectly pickled, or absolutely off my face. Not that I condone binge drinking or anything, but it is the rugby. Take your guess. If you want to try and guess the outcome of the match, then you do that too. It's Wales versus England. I'm a Welsh supporter. Fingers crossed. I do believe we are playing in Cardiff today, so yay. Always nice to get a little bit of home advantage. Right, seriously, I need to go and pour myself a cold one and get ready for this match. See you in whatever state I'm in right now. And if you're wondering what I'm going to be drinking, it's this, courtesy of my brother from another mother. The Double Dragon Ale, the national ale of Wales, because I can't find any brains in the UK, or in England rather. Brains is the brand of beer that I prefer. However, this is chilled, and I'm going to go imbibe. Hey, welcome back to the final check-in. Diddly-did-diddle. And Wales won at rugby, so I am super happy. Couldn't be happier. And I thought, it's only just gone 8 o'clock, but I've already had a couple of beers. Probably going to have a couple more. So I thought I'd better film this while I'm still capable of speaking without slurring, stumbling over my words more than usual. Right, let's get zoomed in and see how it's doing. It's just starting to split, but not settling in that fine line yet. It's just starting to settle in the hulk, but not overemphasising the depth of it too much at the moment. Under eyes still actually looking surprisingly good. Obviously, they've dried out somewhat, and the dark circles are starting to force their way through here and here. But, you know, I get that with all concealers. So that's actually held up remarkably well. There hasn't been that much breakdown actually on my nose. I mean, yes, I've lost here, but then, as I said, I've still got. My fibro gives me like hay fever symptoms all year round, and when I've had a cold, week before last as well, my nose gets extraordinarily itchy. So that's why I'm completely missing foundation there. But if you look at the actual sides of my nose, where my oils are breaking through, there doesn't appear to be any foundation coming off when I touch my skin, so that's good. And although it has broken down and I've lost a little bit of coverage here, it's actually worn quite gracefully. It doesn't look horrific, put it that way. It is starting to settle in these lines here now, making them look a little deep, or deeper. But yeah, I've got lines, shit happens. Top lip is starting to fade, but again quite gracefully, as is the chin. Driest part of my face, i.e. sort of the jawline and mid-cheek, are looking fantastic. I mean, you can see my over bronze that I did, my blush and my highlight are still very much in place both sides. So, yeah, I mean, it is starting to fade, but it's doing it very, very gracefully. So, what are my final thoughts on the Infallible Freshwear and Infallible More Than Concealer? The concealer has really impressed me because it really has only been the last sort of half hour or so that I've noticed the under eye starting to peek through a bit and go a little bit dry. But when I feel them, they're not feeling dry like they usually do. So I'm definitely going to do this in a head-to-head with my Tarte Shape Tape that I've got, because this looks to be an even closer dupe than the Makeup Rev one is. I will also do a face-off with that and the Makeup Rev one if people are interested. This has really impressed me. Now, when I do a foundation review, usually I'll just use my antiperspirant primer, which is what I've done this time, unless my skin is particularly dry in the patches that go dry, or is looking particularly noticeable in the pore area, and then I'll use a bit of pore filling primer underneath it. But literally the only thing I've used under this is moisturiser, SPF and the antiperspirant primer. So the fact that it's actually worn this well, and in the areas that it is breaking down, it has done so very, very gracefully. Gotta be honest, if hubby came in now and said, right, off to a pub, I'd be like, oh shit, let me do my lippy. I would, I'd blot, I'd repowder, and then I'd use something like my Mario Badescu spray, just to moisturise everything and remeld all the powders together. But I wouldn't be overly stressed about heading to the pub for a couple of hours. Well, I can't, because I can't drive, clearly. So, but had I not been drinking, I wouldn't have a problem leaving the house looking like this. I am going to try this with a couple of different additional primers to see if I can get any additional wear length out of it. I'm going to try my Aldi version of the Smashbox primer. I'll give my Catrice Prime and Fine Goodbye Pores a try, and I will also try the Dayun Face Foundation Cream, which, to look at, obviously I've not tried Tarcher, and the e.l.f. Poreless Putty thing is still out of bloody stock in the UK. They keep restocking in America and in Ulta, but in the UK we are officially, I don't know, black sheep of the family, poor cousins, the people that you don't invite to your party because they're focusing on restocking in America, and it's been out of stock here in the UK now since before Christmas. It's now nearly the end of February, so, but this looks, from what I've seen people using Tarcher and how they've described it, this I imagine would be the closest I've got to that, or the e.l.f. Poreless Putty, which they say is a dupe, but you know, I can't get hold of it to try. So I'll try those, and also I got a new brush that I ordered arrived today, which is actually got two more blending brushes as well, the crease brushes from Royal and Langnickel, because I really like those. So I grabbed two more. But I grabbed this, which is Royal and Langnickel Stippler from their Moda range, which says it creates an airbrushed finish. 100% vegan, professional quality fibres. So I might try applying it with this rather than the more dense brush that I used this morning, because I prefer the finish the sponge gave me, but in terms of luminosity, but I felt with the sponge it was definitely sitting on my skin. The brush felt more like it was, I kind of had to use the brush to kind of work it into my skin and then go over it with the sponge to try and bring some of the luminosity back. So I'm hoping that this dual fibre brush could give me the best of both worlds in that respect. So I will continue to use this foundation and if I have any further updates about it, I am really on the struggle bus at the moment. Really shouldn't try and open boxes when I've had a couple of beers. I will either put a pinned comment or I'll annotate something in the description box, but so far this is really impressing me, and I gotta be honest, given how the other L'Oreal Infallible foundations have worn on me, the more matte ones, I wasn't expecting it to. So far I'm giving this a definite 1 thumbs up, possibly 1.5 thumbs. Right, okay. I really hope that you found this helpful. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could hit that like button for me, comment, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, don't forget to ring my bell. Ring my bell, I've forgotten how to click. And choose all notifications so that you get told every time I upload another one of these films. And talking of another one of these films, I have an awful lot for you to choose from. So, given how bad YouTube is for notifying people even when you've got notifications set on, and given that quite a few people have said to me recently that YouTube has unsubscribed them from my channel, it's helpful, thanks for that, YouTube. Do check that you're still subscribed, and do have a look at my most recent uploads and see if there are any that you have missed. Right. Once you've watched those, it'd be awesome if you could check out my girlies in the Beauty YouTuber growth group, because they also have had some awesome videos go up just recently. And you'll be doing yourself a disservice if you don't go and check them out. I don't know what this is. I swear I'm part Italian. I talk with my hands an awful lot. Anyway, all that remains for me to say, as ever, is you'll stay fabulous. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Wales won on the rugby. Sorry. I'm happy, what can I say?